Hi guys, welcome to another interesting tutorial. I'm Yinky and today I'll be showing you how to make Asooke bow. So this type of bow is made with fabric known as Asooke, and my headband is wrapped neatly. So in this tutorial you will learn how to wrap your headband neatly with fabric, and also how to make your bow and how it will be able to stand neatly like this. So I'm going to teach you how to wrap this headband. You can see my headband, it has different width and inches, so you can get this in the market where they sell fabric materials, or from those people that sell art and all these cap materials. So here I'm going to wrap this object up like this. This is what I use, just like arm. So I'm going to input it like so. What I'm trying to do here is just to get a pattern for my headband. So I need a template for my headband because I want it to be accurate, and I want the fabric I'm going to use to wrap it, I don't want it in excess. I want it to be exact. So exact measurement is what I want. So that's why I'll be doing this. So I'll use my biro to trace it out, to trace the measurement out, like the perimeters. I'm going to use it to trace it out like so. So after tracing it out, then I will cut it out on paper, and it's the pattern is the template I'm going to use to cut the fabric. So it will be like normal turning of fabric. So let's go. So at this point I added sewing allowance of 1/2 inch round. So I will add the sewing allowance round the pattern. So this is the pattern for my headband, and I'm just going to chalk it out like so. So I will not remove the paper so that I'll be able to do exactly the measurement of the headband. So I will cut out like so after adding my sewing allowance measurement. So you can see that the nature of fabric is Asooke, so it tends to fray a lot. So I'm going to burn out the edges with light. So I'll be burning it with light. So what I'm going to do, I'll just get my lighter like so and use it to burn it out. You can use any form of light to burn it out. So far is fire like this. You can use a candle and just burn the edges out like so. You can also use soldering iron to burn the edges so that it will stop the fraying effect. So this is just like what you are going to use to turn it. It's still the same measurement. So I'm going to use the other Asooke to turn this one. I'm refraying like so. So after you have born it, this is what we have. Then I can go ahead now and measure like 5 inches. These 5 inches that I just measured out at the middle is for me to be able to turn out my fabric, and that's where I'm going to pass in my headband. So I will sew and stop at the 5 inches opening. So the opening, that 5 inches opening starts from here to here, and I'm not going to stitch the opening. So as you can see, I've stitched round, but I did not stitch the opening. You can see it proper. That's why I brought it closer to the camera. So through the opening, I'm going to notch that part, I will notch it. First of all, I'm trying to remove the office pin. So after removing the pin, I'm done with the pattern here. Then I will notch. So I'm going to notch. Then through that part, I'm going to turn it out. So the part I notch, I'm still trying to burn it with fire so that it will stop the fraying effect. So if you are not using fabric that frays, you don't need to be doing all this. But because of this fabric, it frays a lot. That's why I'm burning it with fire. So here I'm going to turn out like so. I'm going to turn to the right side like this. So if you turn one side, then you move to the other side also and turn it out. So after turning it out, then you input your headband like so. So you can see, just follow the way I input my headband. So after you input your headband, you make sure that you pull it, that there is no, you don't have excess fabric folding. Then pull it out. So the sewing allowance will be folded in like so. You are just going to fold your sewing allowance in, that part that you notched, that 5 inches, fold it in like so. Just make sure you wrap it neatly. Then after you wrap it, you can use your thread, needle and thread to tack, or you can use your gum. So for me, I'm going to use my gum because of the nature of this material. If it's a normal fabric, like a cotton fabric, I'm going to use tacking. But since this material, I will be, because it frays a lot, so, and it has it's not closely knitted, so that's why I will be using gum. So I will use my gum, my fabric gum, to stick the fabrics together. So I'll use my fabric gum inside. So I'm putting my fabric gum right away. So you can use any type of fabric gum, and it will do the job neatly for you. So here, this is what I'm doing, and you can see it's perfect already. It's neat. Then, so this process now, in this process, I have wrapped my headband neatly with fabric. So you can see it's very neat. And here I measure 17 inches. So because I'm making this headband for a 10-year girl, a 10-year-old girl. If it's an adult, you can measure 20 inches. So this is my bow. So 17 inches of fold. I'll cut two of this. I'll cut 2 of this because I'll place it on each other. So after I've cut it, I'm going to chalk this edge. So I will chalk this edge with 1/2 inch, then I'll go and sew it. So that's how I will make my bow. I'll go and sew this also. And after I've stitched it, this is what I have. Then this is to wrap it, to wrap my bow. Then I'm also going to what I'm using to wrap my bow is 4 inches by 8 inches. So after the 4 inches by 8 inches, I'll also stitch it and use fire to burn the edges like so. And after I've done that, I'm going to turn it to the right side. So I will turn it to the right side the way I turn the piece I use for the bow also. Then after I've turned it to the right side, I will use it to wrap the 2 pieces used for the bow. So in the process of turning it out, this is what I have. And this is my bow. I'm also trying to burn the edges with fire so that it will not be fraying. So having done that, this is the first one. I told you that you are going to stitch on the 1/2 inch, and this is the second one. I will turn it to the right side also, then place it on each other. Then you're going to form your bow like so. So this is just the method of forming your bow. Just follow the way I form the bow, like just gathering it at the center. Make sure that it's at the center that you gather it together, and the second one will be formed like this also. I'll gather it together at the center and use this to wrap it. So I'll just wrap it up like this, and after wrapping it up, I will use my needle and thread to tack this together, what I used to wrap it together, and the bow will come in like so. So after I have done that, let me use my needle and thread and tack it together. I'm still trying to arrange it neatly. So this is my needle and thread. I'm using it to tack together, and make sure it's not too tight, not too firm, so that it will not spoil the structure of the bow. So having done that, I'll place it on my, when I'm done tacking, I'll place it on my headband. So the bow will be placed on the headband. So I'm trying to shift the sewing allowance of the bow to the side that is going to rest on the headband. I hope you get that, so that it will be neat. So the sewing allowance of the bow will rest on the headband. So I will just measure 2 inches from the side. So just make sure it's not, you can place it anywhere, but I make sure it's not really centralized. It's like by the side, 2 inches away from the center is where I place it. That's why I use the tape measure at that point. So I'm going to use my needle and thread also to tack it on the bow like so. So just place it the way I place it and tack it. And we have almost come to the end of this tutorial. So for more DIYs, please stay connected, and don't forget to like, share, and give this video a thumbs up. Then I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take good care of yourself. Bye for now.